Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved with the custom scenarios. Had a scenario sent to me very recently that sounded like it could be kind of funny. It is called Plague Inc., but the scenario changes every 60 seconds by Leloennick. Sent it to me via the fan Discord. Basically, the idea of this is there are a number of different official scenarios in the game. You've seen them on the channel before, but this scenario is going to swap between their rule sets every 60 seconds. We're talking things like Mirror Earth, Golden Age, Ice Age, etc., etc. Could be very good for us in a few cases, usually going to make things a little bit harder in others. Regardless, it sounds like complete chaos. And that's what I'm in the mood for. We'll play with the virus, that's fine. ATP boost, genetic mimic, aquastatic streamophile, and symptostasis seems fine. And you know what? Mega brutal. Why the heck not? All right, what are we going to start with? Enter second pop-up description or something. I'm still making mods. Leave me alone. Praise Pravus. I mean, you didn't have to have the second pop. I guess you do, actually, don't you? The game doesn't really give you an option. You have to have two pop-ups when you do the scripting. Whatever, it's fine. I'll let it go. Anyway, Saudi Arabia, here we go. We're going to go for a fairly normal setup here. I'm going to go for some air transmission just to kick a couple things off. But then we will be going for a handful of different symptoms, starting with things like the rash and then the sweating and so on. I'm just hoping to get out of Saudi Arabia a little bit faster than usual. That's why I went for air first. My hope being that depending on what the official scenario is, maybe being in different continents will make my life a little bit easier. I don't remember all of the official scenarios, believe it or not. Like, it's not really my job to remember every single one of them. I just beat them on Mega Brutal, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Fever, I don't really want the fever. I'm gonna go ahead and devolve that. I know that cost me some precious DNA, but that wouldn't be good. The scenario has been changed to a standard world. Was it not a standard world before? Okay, we have a little bit of time where everything is completely and totally normal. We'll see if that actually sticks around. Sneezing would not be a bad thing to get. No point in getting pneumonia right now, since we're nowhere near any of the hot countries. If we wanted to, we could go for things like insomnia just a little bit early, just to try and prevent us from getting detected by more time, just in case this ends up being trickier than I am envisioning. But I think I'm okay with instead going for basic things like some water and stuff, especially as we start getting around in Southeast Asia. It will be helpful to spread a little bit faster. All right, we have a new one. The scenario has changed to congested globe. The population densities have skyrocketed. Everyone basically just reproduced by budding or something. We all just split and boom! There's a whole bunch of people all of a sudden. So now, if we take a look here, what can we see? There are 8 billion people in the world. That's not really different from how things are today. So I don't know if that just needs to recalculate or if it doesn't actually matter and change the numbers, it just changes, let's say, the urbanization effect. Regardless, I think things like rodent and stuff just became a lot more valuable to us, but okay. Let's go ahead and pick up that insomnia and paranoia first right now. Just go ahead and slow a couple things down. We are now spreading very, very, very rapidly. That is good for me. All right, let's go for some abilities. I want to get myself some drug resistance right now. We're now getting into cold countries, so a bit of cold resistance and pneumonia and stuff suddenly does make a bit of sense. Let's go ahead and pick that sucker up. I just want to spread fast in Russia, man. Just want to spread uber-duper fast in Russia. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think that it is. Waiting for the scenario to change. So far, this is looking very, very good for me. I'm going to go for the next level of drug resistance. Remember, once I do know that I'm in all the islands I care about, that's kind of my trigger to go ahead and work toward necrosis. With any luck, it does hit. Could go for livestock. It'll help us in Russia a little bit, make things a little faster here, and that's really what I care about right now because the odds of getting into Greenland that way are pretty good. Ironically, Russia going to Greenland, huh? Don't tell a certain man in the United States right about now, that's all I can say. The scenario change, it's Ice Age. Well, it is a good thing that I already have all the cold resistance that I can get. Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead and pick up a bit more air and water transmission. Sorry for making a topical real-life joke for people right now, but you know what? We'll have to keep things lighthearted here. Extreme bioaerosol sounds pretty good for us. I don't really want to go for seizures and stuff like that, but I do want to set the stage for it later. Could go for cysts and hypersensitivity. Wouldn't be bad, or I could just sit back and stock up on some points. The world hasn't even really started working on a cure yet, so I'm not feeling too threatened. The only thing I'm missing, honestly, is Madagascar and Greenland. Now, some places are shutting down their ports. Madagascar we now have, so it really does once again come down to the Greenland. Always Greenland, man. That's why everyone wants Greenland in the world today. Everyone's been watching my videos, and they know that that's the only place that's safe when the disease finally strikes. Yay. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and pick up, let's say, some bird transmission. just to get around a couple land borders I know I'm missing, and then I am really just going to sit on some points here. That's Greenland right there. All right, everybody, we all know what we're going to do now. That means we're going to go for necrosis. Everyone die and spread your gangrene. I care not for your troubles. We'll pick up the Insiegers next and then work toward Insanity. Not that there's been much of an issue as far as the cure goes. The scenario has been changed to Who Cares? This scenario does absolutely nothing to me right now because if I recall correctly, it basically means that nobody cares in the world if poor countries are getting infected. They don't start working on the cure, but rich countries care a lot. Well, I've already infected everyone, and the world is almost entirely already working on the cure, so it doesn't actually change anything. I think we've gotten kind of lucky here. Let's go for that Insanity. We can go for, I'll just probably go ahead and pick up the Immune Suppression, work toward the Total Organ Failure, and the Insanity that comes out of that. Sorry, not Insanity, the Coma that comes out of that. We could also go down the Inflammation and Paralysis route, but at this point, I don't know, I think just killing faster is probably going to work just about as well. 45 DNA necessary there. Now everyone's going to start dying really rapidly. West Africa does seem to be struggling a little bit. We should be having another roll of the scenario. There it is. Counter-urbanization. All countries are now rural. Well, aren't we glad that I got that livestock? Yes! I mean, it just worked out beautifully for me. Let's go ahead and pick up that Coma. That resets things a little bit. And then with all remaining DNA, we'll pick up a Genetic Reshuffle 1 and 2. If I could go for number 3, I would, but that sets things back a little bit. The cure is still going surprisingly fast considering most of the world has plopped over dead. Kind of surprised you guys have the fortitude to keep going, but we'll just reset that back down to 42%. And this should be pretty good. We might have one more scenario change. Maybe. But I'm not feeling too threatened either way. I mean, something really crazy would have to happen. The population density plummets. Fun. We had massive urbanization and population boom. Then the density plummets after that when already everyone's dead. I mean, talk about some elbow room, am I right? I think so. All right, so now we're just sitting around waiting. I am surprised people aren't dying faster. I have really good lethality. I kind of expected this to be a bit stronger than that, but okay. 408 days, 2 stars, fine. I'm gonna try this one again because I just wanna see how random things are gonna be. We're gonna largely do the same thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and play in Saudi Arabia. I am still gonna go for that air transmission, then go down the sweating and blah, blah, blah. I just wanna see what other things can we get, like what happens if we get Mirror Earth, you know, something like that. Is that really gonna change things up for us? Or is this strategy still so gosh dang strong, it doesn't matter how you change up the official scenarios, I'll still crush you? Which would be kind of cool. I would like to say that my strategies are so strong that it doesn't matter how you break the game rule sets, I'll probably still win. Do you want to go for that sneezing? The Eurozone is near collapse. Europe, no! All right, there goes population density. So that's gone. So what is that going to do for me exactly? I assume urbanization in places like France and stuff still exists, China, blah, blah, blah. So I don't remember exactly how this works. Let me look it up. Is it just that urban is less impactful for transmission? No, it is literally supposed to reduce the world population by a dramatic amount, but I don't see this working. I am curious, Mr. Authorman, since I know you've got me on Discord. Is this working as intended? Or is there something going on in the background that I can't see here? I mean, which is it? Which is it right now? I'm gonna go ahead and grab some early water transmission since we did get into India just a smidge faster. That's gonna help with the humidity while we wait for the next re-roll. I'm not really feeling too concerned yet. Still not getting out of Saudi Arabia very much right now, which feels weird. Let's go ahead and pick up the Paranoia. Again, just trying to delay when people are going to detect us. Scenario is now Ice Age. Okay, so being in places like Saudi Arabia doesn't do me a lot of good anymore. Now I actually have to have that cold resistance, but my DNA generation right now has been a little lackluster up until this point. We'll go ahead and pick up both of those points. There we go, that helps a lot. The more ice transmission we have, the stronger we're going to be now, so all of a sudden pneumonia and stuff is looking pretty darn strong for us. We are in Russia, a little bit delayed, but it's okay. Go for some drug resistance since we are in places like Europe, though we did have a near the collapse of the Eurozone, so you'd like to think that's not going to matter too much, but maybe it does. And now we're back to who cares. All right, so this is where it actually might matter, because we're starting to impact the rich countries like the USA, like China, like Europe, and so I'm expecting we're to start seeing a lot of people working on the research a bit more aggressively. No one would care if I had gone for heat transmission and stuck to places like South America and Africa. No one would care whatsoever. Almost like real life, except In this scenario, I'm kind of already going in an opposite direction thanks to the Ice Age, so that's not going to do me any favors. Let's go for that water transmission there, trying to speed that up. Extreme bioaerosol, still never a bad idea, especially since Russia is considered a humid country, so it still helps. I am going to go for a level of livestock just to go ahead and boost that up a smidge more. What do you have as far as research? Amazingly, it hasn't actually kicked things off too much. And a lot of that is because my severity is not that strong, not yet, so I'm not feeling too scared. Do I want to go for more transmissions, or do I want to go for, let's go for cysts and hypersensitivity. I think that's still going to be good for the wealthy countries for a bit, since we're going to have to start knocking them down relatively quick, and then we can just sit back and sort of generate a bit of DNA for a little while here. Still not working too much on this. We are missing the Caribbean, and we are missing Greenland as our islands of choice. Infecting the USA and Mexico should be enough to get me into the Caribbean, I am hoping. Greenland, I mean, it always comes down to gosh dang Greenland, always. And there goes the population density again. So wait, we had 2 raptures? 2 raptures in the world in the same century? Not even the same century, the same like 2 years. Dude, all right, Russia, you're like fully infected. You have no excuse not to send a boat to Greenland right now. There it is. That's it. See, sometimes when you just like demand things of the game, it does what you tell it to, which is great. All right, we're gonna go for the paralysis, the coma. We got the insanity, we got the necrosis. This is gonna screw with people in a rather major way. And now we just sort of sit back and decide what we want to do here. Probably ramp up that lethality, go for things like total organ failure. Since we have necrosis, it should be fine. Not feeling too worried. And then just ramp up that lethality, because last time we were a little slow. I'm expecting a 1 or 2 star result this time, since we did get really stymied in Saudi Arabia and in India for some reason, but I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, we're killing a whole load of people. This is going to be easy enough. What other scenario can you throw at me, huh? I don't think you're going to be able to stop me worth anything. We've got a fever. Okay. What else can we do here? Pulmonary fibrosis, blah, blah, blah. Hemorrhagic shock is pretty lethal. I'll take that. Plus a level of heat resistance, since we're kind of slow in West Africa. Now, the thing is, I don't know if when a scenario switches, like Ice Age, right? When we left Ice Age, did all of the values, the game values, reset to what they were before? Or do I still have the lingering impacts of the Ice Age and stuff messing with me right now? Because that could be a thing, and that would feel really, really bad if that were the case. Yes, we're killing really fast, I'm aware. West Africa is like the only nation that is not fully infected. I have got to get some more heat resistance going on there, man. What's going on with you? We're killing too fast. How are we killing too fast? I have necrosis. It shouldn't be an issue. And what just changed? I didn't even... Hold on. Devolve this. We've apparently messed up a little bit. Hold on. You are considered to be poor and rural. Let's go for some livestock and some blood transmission. There we go. Okay. Might have something to do with the population density. So wait, what do we get as far as our last swap? I just totally missed it because I automatically clicked off. I was too worried about West Africa. What scenario are you on right now? Does it even matter? No, but like... I wish I knew what it was. Anyway, we're going to get a worse score here for absolute sure. Let's just go ahead and run out the clock while we wait for everyone to fall over dead. The scenario has now changed to all men are created equal, which actually would be rather tough because it means that all poor countries contribute a lot more toward the cure, like a lot more, but they're all dead already. So if we'd gotten this earlier, this would have been a problem. Right now, we're totally fine. Scenario just changed. Everything is now Canada. Wait, it's all Canada? It always has been. You know what? I, for one, welcome our new Canadian overlords. Maple syrup for everyone! And just before the very last tick of deaths, we get urbanization. All countries are now urban. Out of curiosity, does it like actually show... Oh, see, now I can see this is working here. Every country in the world does have this urban tag now. So like, that's working for sure. Fun. Well, there we go. They're all dead. Oh, surprisingly 2 stars, even though this did take a very, very long time. Fun scenario. I think what I would probably do, though, is maybe tighten the list of which official scenarios there could be just to go for the zany-only ones. Because things like, oh no, it would increase the population, no, it decreased the population, didn't seem to have any meaningful effect. Again, maybe it did in the background, but since I'm not sure those are working and they don't really change the gameplay up too much, I'd probably reduce those and only include official scenarios that are just ridiculous, right? Things like Who Cares, things like Created Equal are fine. Stick to stuff like that. Mirror Earth, Golden Age, that's all extra fun, right? So you want to have those with a really high bias, because I think that just makes the playthrough a little bit more exciting. Otherwise, a fun idea for a scenario. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.